Let's go. Laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. We've heard it before. But do you really laugh every day? Do you sit down and consciously laugh every single day? Mantak Chia talks about that. There's a lot of science behind this too, right? But we never really give ourselves the space and the time for that belly full of laughter. Okay? You know when a baby laughs, like that immediate sense of that dopamine rush that you get in your mind from a baby's laugh, like, or even just that sense of like a crowd laughing at something, right? Making it so contagious that you start laughing. Okay? The weirder the laugh also, sometimes we start laughing even more. So, laughing at the face of absurdity is one of the prime tenets of Primal Sutra. You know, Ryan yesterday is telling me about how he didn't get let into a club, and he just started laughing, you know? Ha ha ha! That's ridiculous, right? And that preposterous nature of that laughter, right, is so necessary in certain situations where we feel like we can't even express ourselves, right? We don't even know, we don't even have words to describe what this situation is bringing us. It's so confusing or it's so convoluted that you just you just start laughing, okay? And it's such a powerful release of emotion. Okay? Not only does it make you learn better and faster, right? It also helps you to connect with people, right? Laughter is the social glue that gets people to be a part of a movement or a community. So that means that if you're being humorous, if you're actually letting people in on your sense of humor, you're actually building that network, right? That social glue that a lot of people are looking for. People are looking for, what are ways that I bring in people to my, path working? Well, why not laugh with them? Okay? Why not have a spoonful of laughter every time that you're confused and you're trying to figure out what is the best way to do this, or how do I do this in the right way? Instead, just laugh at it, and you'll oftentimes notice it's not as serious as we make it out to be. Look at the last 24 hours of your day, okay? And tell me this. Did you really laugh? Look at the last 24 hours of your day and tell me, you are probably being way too serious. More serious than it was made out to be. Because what does our mind do? Our mind searches for things. Okay? The mind wants to keep searching for things. So the laughter is a break from that. A break from the search. Okay? It's like someone's going on a scavenger hunt and then someone drops a giant pineapple that just lands in front of you and you're going, what can you do but laugh at that? Right? At the absurdity of life. Okay, what can you do but laugh, right? It's so funny though. Think about like a giant pineapple falling like in front of somebody and then relating it to your own sense of humor, right? So with the thing of the pineapple, pineapple can change the taste of semen. Pineapple is associated with Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob. Pineapple is associated with I have a pen, I have an apple pen, okay? Pineapple pen, or whatever the fuck that was. So, there's many ways you can go about it, right? Once you have the word, you go into these different portals or walkthroughs of different universes where you can pull humor from. So you can go very dark humor, you can go dry, sarcastic, witty. You can go very nonchalant type of humor, like, oh, I'm not really paying attention to it, but I'm just gonna try and like kind of throw this joke off of my cuff of my shoulder, right? People don't really see it, or it's a little bit inconspicuous. You can go even slapstick with your humor, right? In a sense of just like completely absurd with it, right? Like Charlie Chaplin or one of these, great examples that we see of just like this kind of clownish type of humor. And of course, there's also high intelligent humor, right? Like really smart jokes. So according to your personality, your sense of humor will come through based on your personality, okay? So my style of humor is very improvisational, right? I do little voices like this. I try to make my life much more spontaneous, much more fun, much more self-amusing. So I keep myself in this pocket of joy through laughing. And if you're not doing that, then you're doing yourself a disservice actually throughout the day. Because think about this, I just actually found out a little while ago that my grandfather's brother had passed away, like very recently, okay? Just now, actually. My dad just let me know. And of course, this is a very serious thing, right? You can't really laugh at that. But to deal with the management of the pain of that, you've got to laugh. You've got to let it go, right? It's not the fact that you're laughing at them, but you're laughing as a tool. You're laughing as a way that keeps you in that pocket. Now, sometimes, people will tell you to take things more serious and to, make things more concrete and solid and make sure that things are very precise and contextualized. That's okay. But I can still laugh during that, okay? I'm working on some weird document where I have to do something very logical and rational. I'm gonna find ways to make myself laugh during that, There's a reason why I post memes every day, okay? Now, what is the power of the meme? The power of the meme is working with this hive mind, this invisible community of people who have certain thoughts. And the Wojak memes, the thing I love about them is they give you an opportunity to really delve into these archetypical characters that tend to, recreate this experience for people. So for Primal Sutra, for instance, we were talking about this a little while ago. We have the priest beast. The opposite of the priest beast would be, the lost weakling, in a sense. I mean, that is what the opposite of the priest beast is, if you really think about it logistically, right? And logically. The opposite would be someone who's very mundane, someone who's confused, someone who's lost, someone who's very scattered, okay? So it might be even cool to call him the scattered shaman, right? Or the mundane magi, something like that. But for right now, we have the polarity. Now knowing this character, we can now create content based on this. You see? You gotta know what you want, but by knowing what you want, you gotta know what you don't want. And every day you have a choice. You can step into what you want, or you can step in more into what you don't want. Okay? We talked about this in IMC, we have this concept of the prince or the toad. Okay? The toad becomes the prince, right? But then there's also just the toad, who's not the prince yet. Who thinks he's going to become the prince eventually, but he's just waiting and waiting and waiting. He's creating a longingness towards getting and actualizing the results that they want for themselves, you see? So instead of waiting around, okay, make it your mission to add laughter to your schedule. Make it a mission where you're, watching some stand-up comedy, doing things that elate you. And please, oh please, laugh at the absurdity. Laugh at the confusing moments and the adversity. Absurdity and adversity, okay? Anything that you're struggling with. Any pain. Laughter is the best remedy for pain, right? They say laughter is the best medicine. Why do you think they send clowns and these type of people into hospitals? Why do you think that, so many arenas are filled with people to watch a comedian spew jokes? Logically, it doesn't make sense that we would spend a Saturday afternoon, or we could be at our work, or we could be with our family, or we could be doing something else, and we go see a stand-up comedy, right? So we understand that there's some kind of thing that creates this release, or this almost this incantation, right? The ha, 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 the letting go. Also, the mating, we wouldn't be able to mate with each other if we didn't laugh, okay? Laughter is perceived as non-threatening. Laughter makes someone go, oh, okay, that's great. It actually builds rapport, right? And that's why you have certain types of humor, like Russell Brand, for instance. I feel like Russell Brand, the character, can probably get away with a lot of different things, right? He's also very wise, that's the thing, right? So that kind of humor, that level of humor, where he's so quick-witted and, you know, going with that energy, and he's also making these sly, you know, sexual remarks and innuendos through his speech. It's such a unique style of humor, right? So you got to basically find your own style of humor. If you can, and if you make almost like a pie chart, okay, of all the comedians that you actually laugh at, okay? What are the comedians that you actually laugh at? And using the nuances of those comedians through, like, it's almost channeling them, right? In a sense. So once you know that there are these funny people out there, then what do? You bring that forth in your ways, in your mannerisms, in your beingness. Very, very important to understand. By the way, guys, I told you I was sick yesterday. I'm still a little bit sick, but I just can't stop talking and expressing myself, because one day of, you know, being in bed and not being able to express myself, nah, okay? That's why so many of my words are flowing out right now. So I had a horrible headache yesterday. Oh, it was like a crumbling, like, you know, someone's stepping on my, like, frontal lobe or something, you know? Anyway, but let's say this. You have a random event happen, right? Something completely nonsensical that happens in your life, where you go, what can I do but laugh at this cosmic joke right now? Okay? This doesn't make any sense, what just happened. How do I make sense of this? You don't. You don't try to make sense of it. What's done is done. Let bygones be bygones and laugh at it. Laugh it off. Laugh at it so much that it disappears eventually. It's not that time will heal. It's that what you choose to do in that time will heal. And what you choose to do in that time is laugh. Even forcing your laughter in these moments will help you. I'm telling you. Even just sitting down and telling yourself, okay, this really sucks right now. Oh my God, I'm feeling so terrible, but that will help. Okay? The weirder the laugh, the more it'll raise your vibration. I'm telling you. The weirder the laugh, the more it'll pull you up in the emotional tone scale in Scientology. It'll pull you up, because the more absurd something is, right? Like, let's say you take two seemingly random objects, right? Like, let's say you take a warthog and a pretzel together, right? Logically, it makes no sense. It's absurd, right? What would a warthog have to do with a pretzel, right? Then you imagine a warthog twisting its body into a pretzel, which is very weird, but it's gonna make you sort of laugh at that, right? Because you're going, this is so absurd that I can't make any sense of this. What is this? Okay? So it's going to actually raise your frequency up a little bit, because you're in that joy, right? It's like that childlike carefreeness. It's the no rules of the cartoon universe. You get what I'm saying? So, like in a cartoon, right? You could get squished flat like this, right? You can roll up into a ball, right? You can do all of these things. There's no rules in the cartoon universe or the animation universe. So just like that, you got to understand, what is the most aligned way for me to laugh at this? Of course, you don't want to be laughing at, you know, different scenarios and different people that, you know, disrespectful to somebody or whatever. But at a certain level, you know, laughter is such a beautiful thing, and I think we need to pay it much more homage and respect and tribute to laughter. And that's why we love studying also the Hakoya, or the divine clown, or the sacred clown archetype, okay? And once we understand that, we can also understand ourselves, because we all have a connection to this. So there's the dark jester, there's the light jester. We got to find ourselves somewhere in between that, okay? Too dark and you get stuck in this hole. Like, you know, a lot of people who take like DMT or these things, they get into the clown room, something they call a clown room, right? Where they're experiencing like this dark jester energy. But then there's also the happy, positive, you know, jester type of archetype. And it, not necessarily that you have to be like a clown, like just goofing off and being a dancing monkey. You've got to really establish your humor with sharpness, with wit, right? With excellence. And that's what makes the biggest difference, is there's that wittiness, there's that snappiness, right? Of actualizing through the humor, laughing through the pain, laughing through the confusion, laughing through the absurdity, and laughing at the face of absurdity. What? I don't need to understand this. I just need to release my stagnant emotions that are coming up in my body right now. Hearing you say that doesn't make me feel so good. And I understand that. But I also understand your sentiment. I also understand what you just said. That makes sense, but also doesn't feel very good to hear that. Okay? That's the way you acknowledge a trigger. Now, what if you just went and after that event, you went to the restroom and you just started laughing? I got triggered. I got triggered by that. That's hilarious. Okay? What if you did that? What if? And now you try it. Now you've heard it on this video. Now you try it. And you tell me you don't feel better. You tell me that your life doesn't get more positively beneficial by you using this toolkit. Whenever something confusing happens, you laugh at it. You're not trying to make sense of it. You're not going on this investigative rabbit hole to try to figure it out. You're just merely laughing at it because it's ridiculous. And anything that's ridiculous, you laugh at. And life is mostly play. So, like Alan Watts says, right? And so let's make it about that. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Keep laughing. Stay legendary. Let's go today. Boom!